everyone, Michelle with Just for Sweets here. So I am filming my intro video in the parking lot of my work. I work today and there's too many people in there to film the intro. I forgot to film the intro before I left this morning, so here I am in my car. So please excuse me for doing this. This is a collaboration video that I told you guys about a few days ago, and it is with my daughters, Chelsea and Jordan. We are doing crafting and cooking basically on a budget. And it's just a fun little collaboration we're doing. And so let me just tell you a little bit about their channels. Joe Mama is Jordan, and she is a stay-at-home mom of Irish twins. She does a lot of things like a day in the life of. She does cooking, prepping, decorating on a budget, cleaning, things like that. Her channel is great, so make sure you go over and subscribe. I'll put her link down below. And then there's Chelsea, and her channel is Chelsea and Family. She is pregnant right now with her third baby, and she is doing a pregnancy journey on her YouTube channel. But along with her pregnancy journey, she is also doing cooking, cleaning, things like that, and every now and then she'll do a haul or some decorating. So her channel is great as well, especially for you pregnant mamas out there that want to kind of know what someone else is going through and in the different parts of your pregnancy. So check out her channel. I will also put her link in the description box below. As far as my channel, if you're new here, welcome. I have been on YouTube for a while now, and I'm just getting back into my channel again. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below. If you want to be notified every time I download a video, hit that little notification bell. And let's get to crafting and cooking. We've got some really fun stuff ahead of us, so let's get going. Okay, you're gonna start with a bell from Dollar Tree. These are plastic. This is not the bell I used in the video, but I lost my footage, so I had to start over again, but this is an extra bell that I have. I also use Waverly White chalk paint and a sponge brush to paint it on there. So you're going to want to paint the bell, but before you paint the bell, you want to go ahead and remove the tag and the decoration off of the bell. This is a twist tie, so you take it right off. Then you proceed to paint your bell all over, let it dry. Make sure you also paint the inside and outside of the ring. And then you're going to want to paint the inside of the bell as well. So this probably took me 2 to 3 coats of paint. Now I'm going to show you how to make the chipped enamel look on the bell, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways. This way I'm using a Sharpie marker, black, and you just want to go and you want to make lines where the bell is sticking out. So the pieces that kind of extend from the bell itself. So that would be the part that would chip if it hits something, if that makes sense. So you just draw random like lines and squiggles to make it look the way you want. So just continue doing that all the way around the bell. And you can see that I'm kind of placing some of them on the bottom, some on the top. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do it with a makeup sponge and black chalk paint. You put the black chalk paint on the skinniest part of the makeup sponge. And then with the same kind of motion, you go around the bell and you paint on the paint. So you can use either one. If you don't have a black Sharpie, use the paint. If you don't have the right paint, use the Sharpie, or use whatever you're more comfortable with. So I wanted to show you both ways. So just randomly go around the bell. And if you get too much black somewhere, don't worry about it, because we're going to go back up and we're going to touch up certain parts of the bell. So just continue that all the way around, just like we did with the Sharpie. So see, you can see what it looks like. And really, it doesn't look right until you're completely done. And then once you decorate it, it really gives it that chipped enamel look. Okay, so we're gonna move on now and see if we want like it thicker anywhere. And then you're also going to want to do the ring around the top of the bell. You want to make that look chipped as well. So here I'm just showing the motion I'm using with the makeup sponge and the black chalk paint. And I just kind of go around the bell and make some little, or the ring around the bell and make some little black marks all the way around. And there you go. And then now what we probably want to do once we do that, yeah, you want to also get the protruding top part of the bell. And then once we do that, we're going to go ahead and touch up the white paint wherever we think we got too much black. So if it's too thick in one area, just put some white paint on a paintbrush, go back through and just kind of cover it up the way you want it to look. So just go ahead and do some touch-up paint all the way around. You want to make sure that everything dries thoroughly, or you're going to end up with gray spots around your bell. So just continue to touch it up. I had a few parts that got a little bit too thick. That was really actually my first time using the makeup sponge with the black chalk paint. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all the decorations that I used. I used jute twine that you can get at the dollar store. These are the garland ties from the dollar store. They come in like a pack of 10 or 12. I'm only using one. Using wire cutters, I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces. I tried to use scissors, but it was not doing well, so the wire cutters work better. So it will only take 1 full piece of garland to decorate this entire bell. Then I have just a little tiny red Christmas ball that I also got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut a piece of the jute twine and string it through the bell so that I have something to hang the bell from. If it doesn't go through the bell easily, then you can put some Scotch tape on the end and that will help it feed through. So I'm going to tie a knot here. You can make whatever kind of knot you want to. I just want to do a real basic simple knot. And then that's going to create the loop or the tie for the ornament to hang from. I kind of get all my decorations together before I decorate, and then I can just kind of glue everything on. So there is the Christmas ball. You can cut that extra string off if you like. Now I am creating my jute twine bow. So you're going to want to take the twine and I wrap it around all 4 of my fingers or around the palm of my hand. And you can go about 12 to 15 times around your hand. That will make the bow as thick or as thin as you want it to be. Cut that off. And then you're going to want to cut an extra piece of twine because that's what you're going to tie through the center to create the bow. Just take it off your hand, and if it gets all messed up, it's okay. You can start over again. Gather it in the center, and then you're going to tie the twine where you gather it, if that makes sense. So see how I'm holding it together right here? That's where you're going to tie your twine around. Tie it around that center, tie it in a knot, get it as tight as you can, and you're going to let those extra pieces hang. So there, so you can see how I do that. And then I just kind of separate it so that the loops are even. I like them to, you don't want them to be offset. So tie the knot good. Sometimes I even double knot it. I think I did here. And then I usually like to cut another piece of twine so that I have 4 pieces of twine hanging through the center, just to give it more of an effect. Now, if you don't have jute twine, you can use any kind of ribbon you want to. It's just all preference. And as you've seen at the beginning of the video, and you'll see after this, that I decorate all my bells differently. So some have this, some have ribbon, some don't have anything in the center but berries. It's just a matter of preference. So just go through your craft stuff and see whatever sticks out to decorate the top with. So there's the bow, it's complete. That's where we'll place it. But first we have to start with the garland. So now we're taking our pieces of garland, and you're gonna have your glue gun ready to go. And I'm just putting some glue towards the end of it. And then I stick that part into that hole in the top of the bell, and then just kind of press it on. Be careful, don't burn yourself. I've burned myself 1,000 times. Hold it in there, and then I just kind of take the garland, because it's got wire in it, and kind of wrap it around. You're gonna do that with another piece on the other side. Glue, put that piece inside the bell, and then wrap it around. And you can put some extra glue where you wrap it, just to make sure. See, I burned myself right there. And wrap it around. And then I don't like the back of the bell to look bare, because if someone has it where you can see everything, I kind of want to do the back as well. So that's where the other 2 pieces of garland come into effect. See how it's blank? I don't want that, so I'm going to cover that up. So I'm going to do the same thing with these 2 pieces of garland. Glue them and wrap them around the back. And I didn't put these inside, I just kind of did it on the outside to kind of cover that up. And then I got smart and used something to push it down so I didn't burn myself. So wrap that one around just like you did the ones in the front. And just make it look the way you want it to look. So you can see there's 2 pieces on each side, making a total of 4. Holding that on, just making sure everything's secure, because you want everything to be really secure. So there it is with all the garland on it. That was pretty simple, right? You can see the bell starting to come together. This is where I add a little bit of extra glue to secure it, because I don't want things to fall off. So I'm patting it because it is hot. And I do that with all 4 pieces just to secure those in. Okay, so that part's done, and now you can do the rest. So now I'm creating what looks like snow on the garland, and I'm taking my Waverly white chalk paint, and then I just use this, I call it a stipple brush, get almost all the paint off of the brush, and then you're just gonna kind of dab it onto the garland, creating a snow effect. Now if you have snow in a can, you can put that on there instead. This is just a little bit simpler because you have a little bit more control over it, and it looks exactly the same. So continue that all the way around until you have enough of a snow look on your garland. See the difference it makes. It really just brings out things in the bell. I kind of like to go in between as well, because, you know, if snow were falling, it would fall in all the places. So that's where I kind of just try to even it out just a little bit. And actually a little bit of paint goes a long way. You can just keep dabbing in there, and I mean, chalk paint does dry up pretty quick, but you should be able to get that done. Now I added the ornament to the bow. I think I just glued it in the back. And now we're going to glue all that into the center of where the garland is. And that red really shows against that white. It looks good, and that's why I chose the red. So just kind of hold that on there until it attaches itself and doesn't move, because you want to keep it nice and secure. And then you can kind of, once it's on there, you can kind of adjust your bow like, you know, spread out the loops and everything, make it look the way you want it to look. Now I'm going to add little berries that I got at the Dollar Tree, and they're like little styrofoam berries, and I literally take one off at a time. It doesn't matter if you have the white, because you're also going to add some snow to those. Put a little dab of glue and then just start adding berries into the garland. And again, that red really stands out, so that's why I like to do that. They also have some that have glitter on them. You can use those. They have some that are like a burgundy color. There's some that have gold, glittery, just whatever you choose. This is what I happen to have at my house, and so that's what I decided to use. So I like to usually glue an odd number. I know that sounds weird, rather than an even number, but to me it just kind of, I don't want it to balance too much. I want it to kind of look sporadic. So I'm just kind of placing them wherever I think they need to go. Once those are on, you're gonna kind of do the same thing that we did with the garland, and you're gonna dip that brush into white chalk paint, dab off the extra again, and then just go over the berries with the white paint to make it look like the berries have snow on them. All the way around. And then that creates a really pretty effect. And we're almost done. So there it is. Now there's just one more thing that you need to do, and I don't like that loop at the top. Now if you could cut that off, I guess, in the beginning, but I just choose to take some kind of decor and cover it up. You can add jute twine if you want to hang your bell, or if it's going to stand on something, you can just add some extra berries up there, which is what I choose to do. There's also pearls that you can get at the Dollar Tree that you can put there as well. And I got this snowflake at the Dollar Tree. It came in a pack of 8. They had them in white glitter or silver glitter. Cut the string off that, and I'm going to glue that into the center of the bow. You can also hang that from the top if you like, but after showing both, I think I decided that I wanted it in the center of the bell, or the center of the bow, I'm sorry. So just whatever looks good to you, and that's what looked best to me. So put some hot glue behind that. And place it however you want it to be placed. Be careful not to burn yourself. And again, just hold it on there until it's secure. But then I didn't like the center being so plain. So I believe I put a pearl there. I'm waiting to see what I did. They do have a bag of pearls at the Dollar Tree, in the floral section or in the craft section. And so I want to make sure and put just a little bit of glue. That's what I decided to do, was use the pearls, put a little bit of glue behind that pearl, and glue it to the center of the snowball, or the snowflake. And it attaches pretty fast. Just kind of gives it that finished look. So here we go. Here is my bell, and here are a selected few different ones that I've made. So I wanted to show you those. See how some have the ribbon, and that's actually the burgundy berries. That's another one with ribbon and burgundy berries, but I also add the garland to almost all of them because I like that look. You can see I added the holly berries to the top. Now we're gonna go into these little cute bundt cakes I made. So here's all the ingredients. You're gonna wanna turn your oven on to 350 degrees. I use all the ingredients on the back of the box, but I do substitute a couple things. You wanna take your little mini bundt pan. This is a Pampered Chef mini bundt pan that I got, and spray grease all of them. So where it says water, I substitute that with buttermilk. You could also use like almond milk if you wanted to. So I do that. I have the 3 eggs that it calls for. And I use a Greek yogurt or a regular vanilla yogurt instead in place of the oil. Go ahead and put that all together in your mixing bowl with your cake mix. Now the 3 eggs I wait to put in until after I've mixed those ingredients together. I also decided to add some extra cocoa because I like it to have a deeper chocolate flavor. And because of where I live, I have to add about a 1/4 cup of flour to that as well. I put my eggs in a separate bowl, and the reason I do that is to avoid getting any shells into the cakes. So put your 3 eggs into that separate bowl. And with chocolate cake, I also like to add some hot coffee. So I don't rinse out the buttermilk out of the container, but I do put in about a 1/2 cup of warm hot coffee. You can use cold coffee if you want. But first, I'm gonna mix all of these ingredients together. And while that is mixing, once you get that going, that's when I decide to add the 3 eggs. And I try to drop in one at a time. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but you get those eggs in there and then you want to give it a good mix for about a minute or 2. Make sure everything's kind of scrape your bowl with a rubber scraper and make sure you get everything up. And that's where I'm doing this. I'm cleaning the bowl because with these KitchenAid mixers, sometimes the stuff gets stuck on the bottom. So you want to make sure and loosen all of that up. Put that back in, turn it back on for another minute or 2 until everything is well mixed. Once I do that, that's when I decide that I want to add my coffee. So it's gonna look like creamy coffee, and that's because I didn't rinse out the buttermilk, but it was actually a dark roast coffee. You can omit the coffee altogether if you like. It does not give it a coffee flavor, but coffee does enhance the flavor of the chocolate. The cocoa flavors come out. And so that is why I choose to do this. And then that's also why that extra flour goes in there as well. It helps, firm it up a little bit. So then mix that coffee. You want to start at a low rate of speed. Get that in there. Now we're all mixed and we are going to fill our bundt pans. I have this little 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup measure, and I'm just kind of filling each of the bunts with this 1/3 cup. And I kind of eye it because you want it to be, you don't want them to rise too high. So you want to leave about, you can see like about 1/4 of the way. So you mix it about 3/4 of the way. Does that make sense? Okay, so now we're putting it in the oven. We're gonna let these bake for roughly 15 minutes and set the timer so that you don't overcook them. So 15-minute timer, and you'll know if they're done or not by, sticking a toothpick or something in them. You can also touch them and they should spring back up, and you should not get that indent with your finger. So just kind of push on them and make sure that they're done. Just like that. And these are done, they're springing back, so these are good. These took 15 minutes. You wanna let them cool for a good 5 to 10 minutes and then you plop them out. And I just kind of separated them onto a plate because I am going to make 3 different kinds. So here they are. The first one is German chocolate. I just went ahead and bought canned coconut pecan frosting. I did not have time to make my own. And I am frosting each of the bunts that I put aside with that. And there those are. Then I take some dark chocolate chips with a little bit of shortening, mix it in the microwave, and then I just kind of, till it's a good consistency, drizzle it over the top of my cake, just to give it a little bit of decor and some extra chocolate in there. So that's the German chocolate. This is my cream cheese buttercream frosting. I think I have an old video with my recipe. If I do, I will put it in the description box below, but you can use canned frosting or your choice of frosting. I have this bag from Pampered Chef that came with the tips, and I'm just kind of doing the nothing bundt cake motion and putting the little lines. I have some Christmas sprinkles that I'm putting on these, and these are just basically my little chocolate cream cheese buttercream cakes. This is disco dust is what they call it. So it's an edible dust, and I like that because it gives my cupcakes or my cakes some glitter and shimmer, which is perfect for the holiday. This is my Black Forest. I'm using cherry pie filling with these. As you can see, I spooned some in the center, and those are beautiful for Christmas. So then I take them and I box them up. You can get boxes at Michael's. I got these from Pampered Chef. You can tie jute twine around them. You can put tags on them. I even made some ornaments, and I put some ornaments on my boxes. And I put each one of the cakes into these boxes so that I can give them away to people. You could also give them as a gift to the people that came to your house. And then here they are on my little cute Ray-Dun tray. And there are my cakes. They're perfect. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the girls I did the collaboration with, which are my daughters. We have Chelsea from Chelsea and Family, and we have Joe Mama. And go check out what they're making, because they've got some really, really great stuff coming on. As always, thank you for watching. God bless. Please subscribe and hit that like button.